people can definitely expect, I wouldn't say to be triggered, but I think a lot of people are going to watch it and be like, I can relate to that. That's me, or that was me a few years ago. I think people can expect a lot of drama. It's gonna get like really, really lit. So yeah, I think it's definitely a lot of drama. I think from beginning to end, there's just like every episode you're gonna be like, ha, and then you click on the next one, and then yeah, but also I think a lot of people can expect to kind of feel like they're also seen in the world, and that I'm not the only one going through certain things, like there are other people in the world going through it like me. Varsity is not all sunshines and roses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think ugh, I'm so excited. Hi, my name is Sibongile Nkosi. I am a theatre actress, film and television actress. I also write and direct theatre pieces. And yeah, I'm also an art manager, so that's just basically me. And I played the character Mpumi.
Yes, yes. Please briefly just tell us about like Mpumi and the kind of person that she is.
Well, Mpumi is a psychology student. She's in varsity. She's a good girl. I think she's grown up to be like your normal girl next door. But she's just at a point in her life where she just wants to, when you hit your 20s and you feel like you want to explore, or you're just trying to figure out who you are. She's definitely at that point. And I love the fact that she's not afraid to say, I'm at a point in my life where, I want to explore and see what the world has in store for her and who she could possibly become.
So your character in Choice Assorted deals with a lot of internal and external conflict or challenges, and is at the center of what everyone goes through. We normally don't see such like whatever she went through, or like even what other people around her go through, portrayed on screen. How was just the process for you?
I think I really, because I think with a lot of things, I felt like I could, being a woman in my early 20s, I think there was something weird happened with the character. I felt like sometimes it was a bit creepy. I felt like she was me at certain times. It was the weirdest thing. At some point, I was like, "What? Like, is obvious like playing some prank, and he just knows me with certain things." So I think I could tap into those things to kind of prepare for the character. And then there were things that she's going through or has been through that I was shaping her present in the story, that I felt like I had to now go and kind of speak to my other peers, because it was things that I don't particularly understand. So I had to, those things I felt like out of respect to certain people and groups of people, I had to speak to people and try to understand. Yeah, I was
Okay.
really, really scared of missing certain aspects of who she is. So I really had to
Yeah.
on that.
I think that's the one thing. I think that's the one thing I just appreciate about your process. And I like the fact that you actually prepared for your character and you did research, because I think I realized as time went on, yes, Mpumi is doing the things. And you actually referred to consulting with friends and stuff. Could you please just like for context give us one example or like one scene where you had to like probably consult with a friend or something or someone?
Yeah, it was an intimate scene. I can't say too much, but it was an intimate scene. And so I had to go to, first of all, I went to YouTube and I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to do certain things. And then after that, I was like, okay, the internet is not helping me. So I had to go to a friend and be like, okay, so certain things, how do you do certain things? What do you do? And that friend had to, it was very, it was actually very funny, but like the friend had to now teach me to know certain people do this and not this, and this is how. And yeah, so even when I got on set, I'd ask some of like my fellow cast members, okay, like teach before we shoot, teach me certain things, and everyone was laughing, but everyone was kind of like, okay, let's go, let's show you what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it and how things go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, that's nice. So there are a lot of personal things that are not communicated between the characters in the story. What would you say your characters struggled to communicate?
I think she struggled to she I think, I'm not sure if it's something it's something you definitely communicate. I think boundaries. I think if there's one thing, as you go like along with the series, as the series like thingies, you realize she kind of like her boundary, she kind of, people, there aren't boundaries between her and a lot of people. And I think, I don't know if it's kind of like a pick me situation in terms of like her personality, but she's just she struggles to set boundaries with a lot of people, and we see it in how a lot of people interact with her. Yeah.
It seems like characters in the story seem to be in like a bubble, especially your character, and they happen to depend more on other people than themselves. What do you think your character's biggest flaw was?
Like you say, she lives in, I think Mpumi, like sometimes she frustrates me because she, like you're saying, she lives in like her own little world, and I think she sees what she wants to see. And if she's seeing what she wants to see and hearing what she wants to hear, and then whatever is happening around her, she's not observant of like her environment and what's happening. And I think that's like her biggest flaw, because in the end, a lot of things just pass through her, things that you could have picked up earlier on and kind of sorted out or found out or dealt with earlier on, she deals with in the end. Whereas she could have dealt with if she was just more like self-aware and like aware of like her surroundings. I think she's too into herself. Like she lives in Mpumi world, and she thinks everyone is in Mpumi world and everyone thinks like Mpumi, and that's not the case. And she finds that out the hard way, I think. It's sad how she finds that out.
But like, wouldn't you say that's how, because I mean, they are all university students, but wouldn't you say that's how, like at first instance, most university students are? You only become probably self-aware in second year that, oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like 1, 2, 3.
You think so?
I'm just asking.
I think there are two types of people. When you're probably the type where you got to varsity and you were like, okay, I'm in my own world. But I think a lot of people, you go into it and you're more aware, you're more self-aware of, okay, what's going on around me. But like I said, they're different people. That's why I'm like, for me, I'm just like, in first year, you'd probably be on that tip. And my experience with people has been, in first year, people will be on that tip. And then by the time you get to third year, people become more like what you're saying. Now you're in your own bubble. So I guess we just have different experiences.
Okay. I'm asking this question because being a university student is full of awkward and weird moments. In which ways was teenage Sibongile more like your character Mpumi, and in which ways are you different?
Oh my God. So teenage Sibongile, 16-year-old me. I think my 16-year-old me is like Mpumi, in the sense that she's not afraid to speak her mind, say what she wants. She's very she lives. My 16-year-old self is very like, hey, I'm gonna communication is key. I think that's Mpumi's thing also in the whole series. Hey, you must communicate what you want in life so that we're not having blunders. So I think my 16-year-old self is I can relate to her in that sense. And then I think myself now, how is she different to Sibongile now? That's a tricky one, because I think, like I said, when I was reading the script, it got creepy. Like I was telling other people, this is my life. Like, like, okay, I can't say too much, but like certain things, like how the whole character, if I were to sit with you and tell you like things about my life, you'd be like, oh my God, I wrote you. The only difference was probably, her identity, her trying to figure out certain things. That's probably the only thing that's different. But also with working with this character and, just Mpumi for a moment, it made me kind of question, oh my God, am I going to, like, in the next 2 years or in the next 6 months, go through this? Because this really looks like it's a mirror of my life. So yeah, I think they're just different in who, like, their identities and who maybe they might possibly think they are.
Yeah.
But like other than that, they're pretty similar.
Okay. And since you've touched on the topic of your impression of the script, what was your first impression of the script?
I was like, this is so well written. Because I was reading and I was like, like I said, I write as well. So I was reading it and I was like, oh my God, Haibo, you just graduated and you're writing this. I was just like, oh my Lord. Because I could, like, I remember, I don't even think but I was telling you, I think I see this thing on so many like platforms, because that's just how good and how well written and how well developed characters are, So like as a young South African writer, getting into the industry, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed. I'm not easily impressed by scripts, but with this one, I was just like, I went home and I read the whole thing again, because we read it at like a reading, and then the director, and then I went home and I read the whole thing again, and I was like, oh my God. I got really excited after that.
Yeah, thank you very much. What makes the series worth telling or watching?
I think that it's telling stories that you don't normally see. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I think the way people are, because I think it's one thing to show representation, and show different types of people. But with Choice Assorted, it does more than that. It doesn't just say, okay, there are these types of people in society. It normalizes it, which I think sometimes we'll say, okay, there are maybe, for example, they're disabled people in the world, but also we kind of make it they're disabled people in the world. Whereas Choice Assorted is like, yeah, not everyone is the same. And in the story, it's completely normal and everyone is happy with it. And it's not like, and so I think we need such shows where we normalize the fact that we're all different and it's okay for all of us to be different. I think that's what makes it so important for especially a lot of the young ones to also, okay, maybe not the young ones, but for a lot of people, especially people in like your early 20s, to kind of see,